Hello and welcome back to Ukula, where we'll summarize this week's junior PowerPoint lesson in 5 minutes or less. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, leave a like, and don't forget to comment down below whether you've been blessed on this lesson, and so that you can also be able to get to have notifications of whenever we post a new video. So let's get into our video and learn more about God. So our lesson topic is in pit, prison, or palace. Which Bible story do you think when you hear these three words? Pit, prison, palace. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope by now you have now got an answer. So anyway, let's continue with our lesson and let's now get into it. Today's PowerPoint text is coming from Romans 8 verse 35 to 37, which reads, "Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble, hardship, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or danger, or sword? As it is written, for your sake we face death all day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors, through him who loved us." If someone decided to take you away from your family, there was no time to say goodbye, no time to take anything you needed for the journey. You believed you would never see them again. How would you feel? Today, this guy's life would change once again. Most people would take this as a mystery, but for him, it was different. It started with him when his brothers became jealous of his colorful coat that was like the rainbow. It was so beautiful and so nice that his brothers decided to be so jealous that they took him and threw him in a pit because of all the dreams he had told them about, because of the coat that he had been given, and because he was the father's favorite son. And things don't just end there, but they become worse. The next thing is sold to some travelers that just passed through, and he becomes a slave in a foreign land. The next thing, he gets bought by this guy named Potiphar, and this guy named Potiphar decides that this guy is working so nice, this guy is working so good, let's give him a higher rank. And he now became the manager of all Potiphar's slaves, just to show how good God can bless you no matter what kind of situation you're in. The next thing that happens, Potiphar's wife decides to try and sleep with Joseph. Yes, this guy is named Joseph. And the next thing is Joseph leaves the coat in Potiphar's wife's hand when he is trying to run away. But the next thing that Potiphar's wife says is that Joseph was the one who was trying to abuse him. So the next thing, he finds himself in prison because Potiphar didn't know the truth. He finds himself in prison. He is now in a worse situation. He has to now work hard. He has to now get the kind of food that they get in prison. And life has just been turned around for him. Things just become worse and become worse and become worse. But you just see that he finds the good even in the worst things. So the next thing is he continues working, and the prison guard noticed that he works better than all of the other prisoners, and he decides that he should become the manager of all the other prisoners. See what happens when the Lord is with you. He takes you even from the ordinary level to worse levels, but even in those worse levels, he continues working on you. He continues blessing you. So, as we continue, what happens is, after he has now become the prison manager. The next thing is these two men come to him with their dreams. One, before he got into prison, used to be a bread maker. The other one used to be a wine maker. But the next thing that happens is he interprets their dreams through the power of God, but not through his own power. So he acknowledges that it's God's power, not his, that enables him to be able to do what he's doing. So the next thing that happens is the wine guy, the guy who used to do wine, who used to give the king wine, is translated their dream, and his dream is saying that he sooner or later will be able to get out of the prison and serve the wine to the king again. So that means that he still has got a chance for life in the king's palace. But then for the one who used to make bread for the king, it's rather a sad dream. It's rather a sad translation, because he was gonna be killed. He was gonna die. So the one with the bakery item now leaves him sad and leaves him in disbelief. But even though these dreams actually happen, and the next thing is Joseph tells the guy who deals with wine to not forget him when he goes back to the king's palace. So this guy goes back to the king's palace and he continues. Now, what's gonna happen is we're gonna continue this lesson next week. So I hope you are subscribed. I hope you have left a like, and we'll catch you next week. Goodbye, and see you next week for the continuation of the story.